Morning, everyone. It's about 1:14. It's usually my time to rise and shine, 1:14 a.m. Anyway, I want to talk real quick about what a derivative is, and more specifically, a credit default swap. Now, I was in the insurance business for quite some time. I worked for the big three. I worked for Mutual of Omaha. I worked for Guardian, and I worked for New York Life. And I also had appointments with several other different types of insurance companies. And essentially, a credit default swap is where you take, it's basically insurance policy against a, a, a business that you're buying. So say that you want to buy, you know, like a fire insurance policy. You would say, okay, I want to buy business, you know, Kim Jong Un's, laundromat or whatever. And so you take out an insurance policy against that business failing, essentially. Now, since they're unregulated, you can take out insurance policies that don't have to fill the same criteria that you would find in life insurance policies or in P&C property and casualty policies, because you don't have to have insurable interest. It's like insurable interest is the law of the land when you're dealing with most insurance contracts. You can't buy a insurance policy on your neighbor's house because you don't have insurable interest in it. You can't buy a life insurance policy on just somebody that you don't know because you don't have insurable interest. There's specific criteria that has to be filled for insurable interest. There's also limits to how much that you can insure these things for. It's called indemnity. It's what's going to essentially help you recover your losses. Now, with a credit default swap, you don't have to fill these criteria. You don't have to have insurable interest, and you can insure them for many, many times over what they're worth. So, like when AIG was betting on everything being hunky dory in the housing market, and they were insuring themselves, or people were buying insurance contracts from AIG, or I say it's an insurance contract because essentially what it is. But a credit default swap is if somebody defaulted on their mortgage, then they would be reimbursed their money from AIG. And when the whole thing blew up in their face, AIG couldn't afford to pay everybody back because it was several times over what the values of the mortgages were. And AIG didn't have the cash reserves for it because that's not required in a credit default swap because it's unregulated. It's the wild west of insurance, and it makes no sense. People have been screaming for regulation for these things, and we haven't gotten a bit of regulation on that since 2008. Everybody pretends like it's a complicated financial instrument, but I'm telling you, it's not wizardry. It's not science. It's actually, well, it is science, but it's a little bit more simple than they try and pretend that it isn't. They try and pretend that it's so complicated that you can't understand it, but that's basically what it is. And who bailed AIG out? You did. The taxpayers did. So they haven't regulated again, and we are set for the next wave, the next bubble in the housing market to pop. And CDOs are still running like hotcakes. And you look at let's see, I think it's something like $4 quadrillion in derivatives that are out there. I mean, Deutsche Bank is going to get friggin' hammered, like you wouldn't believe. So as soon as that bubble pops, they've already made legislation against taxpayer bailout again. So they've got legislation already ready to go. It's called a bail-in. So they're going to essentially go right into your bank account and take your savings or whatever's in your safety deposit box. And for you guys out there, with a garage full of gold bars, and you haven't, I guess, kind of obscured your paper trail a little bit, I'm sure the Treasury Department at some point is going to turn up at your house with a bunch of guys with guns and confiscate it. So, best of luck to you on that one. I could talk about some alternatives, but right now it's a little unstable. If you can't handle volatility, which I know a lot of people that invest in bullion, they want stability, and I have some options, but there's a lot of volatility in it. So I don't want to lead anybody down the wrong path. I have a Series 7, so I'm not legally able to give you advice on that. Although I suppose freedom of speech, I don't know how that works or on the internet, because anybody can say any damn crackpot thing they want to on the internet. And that's why I love it. But that's it for a quick one this morning. I just woke up. I hope I was clear and concise. You guys have a great day.